Hello everyone and welcome to my overview of the GoCube, which is the newest Bluetooth cube to hit the market. I'm coming to you from my wonderful floor because that's really my only recording studio at the moment. So this overview is kind of going to go over the GoCube itself, which is this lovely thing right here, the app, as well as all the features and just my personal thoughts. So to start, let's get into the differences between the two types of cubes that are offered on the market. There's the GoCube and the GoCube Edge, which is what I currently have right here. So the differences I'll put on screen here. There's a lot of differences, mainly the ability to play online with others, as well as some increased tracking ability, and mainly as well offline solve saving. So that's one of the main reasons I got the GoCube Edge. Sorry, I'm a bit of an awkward position for this. The GoCube Edge, it does feel like a normal speed cube. It, aside from the rounded corners, it does feel like a normal speed cube, especially with the magnets and the lubricant that's been put in it. It does turn very well, and it's very clicky, which I really like. I've only had one issue with turning, which is lockups, but that's mainly just due to the looseness of the puzzle, which can easily be adjusted if you take off the center caps. So that's really the overview of the puzzle until we get into the app. So when you start up the app, you get taken to a screen which pairs up the GoCube. It will search for a GoCube in the area that has Bluetooth enabled, and as you can see, it pops up right here. You click on, and now it would normally take you to a login process, but I've already done that right here. So this is what the overview of the app looks like. Obviously, it's kind of first edition after the beta. There are some coming soon options, which we'll get to in a little bit, but for now, we're just going to go through an overview of everything. So obviously, when I turned on the app, you first saw that the cube lit up, which is a nice feature that was missing from other digital or Bluetooth cubes like the Geiger or the GAN. But first, let's get into what my personal favorite, which is the actual cubing aspect. So there are three things that are currently available for us to use. There's scrambling, which is kind of like unscrambling a cube using the best method in the fastest way possible. There's ProCuber, which is kind of like a battle mode, and then there's solo, which is pretty self-explanatory. I'll kind of go through what solo looks like because it's the easiest to see. So one thing that is really cool about the GoCube is that it actually has like it not only shows the turning, as you can see here. Oh, well, that's what happens when you do too many wrong moves. But it also shows the rotations of the puzzle. So if I were to do Z2, you can see that it flips. Now it also actually sees all the moves, and it counts it right here. So if I were to scramble, you can see each move is taken into account, and I'm trying to scramble slowly so you can see each letter. This is a long process. Oh, and if you do a wrong move, it'll tell you what to do to fix it. So then once you start it, you have 15 seconds to look at it, this is just the normal process of solving a cube. I'll just do a quick solve really quick. That was redundant. All right. And you can start whenever you want, and the timer will go. Sorry, I'm not really able to show the timer and the cube being solved at once. But as you can see, as I'm solving, it does show all the moves I'm doing. Here, I'll even do it slowly, which this time doesn't really matter. But so I'll do each turn. And it will have both my move count, which I have noticed it does count this as 2 moves, even though it is really just one motion, but it's still 2 moves technically if you do it like that. And it also has your time, as well as if you have the edge, it gives you more stats, such as your time for the cross, your time for F2L, OLL, and PLL. And if you use a different type of solving, such as RU, ZZ, or just normal beginner's method, it will actually take that into account and tell you your splits for each thing. And then it also tells you your total idle time, so it tells you how much time that you spent in pauses, which I think is really good, especially for people that are trying to work on that. And you can even click advanced, and it will tell you how much time and how many turns per second you used for each pair. Now, keep in mind, this is for only the Edge when you get these advanced statistics, which is why I highly recommend the Edge. But you still get some stuff with the normal GoCube. I'm sorry for how I sound right now. It's really hard to record on the floor. So there's that aspect of it. And then you go to main menu. There's also ProCuber, which is, again, the battle mode and scrambling, which is the re-scramble, basically. And then you have the leaderboards, which you can see if you have the normal one, but you can only add yourself to the leaderboard if you have the Edge. So as you can see, you have all these people who are in the top 10, and you also have the Pro mode, which is the battle mode, and then solo, which is by yourself. So there's that. Now we'll go into the My Cube aspect. So there's this one, which is Quick Timer. Hang on one second. Basically, it's the same thing as solo mode, except you can scramble the cube however you want, and it will start the timer. And then you can click stop. Let's say this is the scramble you want to do. It'll start as soon as you start turning, and it'll stop as soon as it's solved, and it'll tell you the same statistics as, when you would do it, when you would solve it in the solo mode. So then you can go back to main menu. You also have your statistics for all of your solves. These are the ones that I've had over the course of having the app, and it tells you your total time that you've had the app on, total moves you've done, etc. Jeez, I keep getting a lot of messages. And it tells you a lot more interesting information. Next, you can go to Solver, which, let's just say you have no idea how to solve the cube, and you want to, before you learn, have a solved cube to start. You can go to here, hold it like this, so you have the white on top, green in front, and click continue, and it will tell you all the moves you have to do to solve it. Which also, as we get to the tutorial part, you will learn these moves. And there we go, we have our solved cube. That's what I also really like about this cube, is that it lights up whenever you do something, like when you complete it or when you do a puzzle, and I find that to be really kind of rewarding. Also, you can rate it. I'm not going to rate it right now. You can go to the main menu. Next up is obviously the coming soon things, Cubestumes. I'm going to assume that this is, well, first of all, it's a play on costumes, but I'm going to assume it's a way that you can change the way your cube looks on screen. And I find that to be really cool, especially if there are like unlockable costumes that you can put on your cube, and it would just add more of a personal element to it. You've also got the daily challenge, which I'm assuming is self-explanatory. You've got a challenge that you do every day. And then Fortune Cube, that is something that I'm really not sure what would happen. I'm assuming that with the coins that you get by competing with others in Scrambling or Pro Cuber, you can unlock things through like a fortune wheel or something like that. Next up, we have the 3 games that you get. First off is the kind of cube synthesizer that you get, where it's basically you turn the cube into an instrument. So I'll show you something that's really cool. You hold it like so, you click continue, and now if it's set to guitar, you can play Mary Had a Little Lamb. Here, I'll kind of move the camera so you can see how each of the keys on the keyboard have moves that you can do. So if I wanted to play Mary Had a Little Lamb, let me see if the volume is on. Hold on. This is kind of a one-take video, so I'm just trying to see, get everything working. Yeah, it's on. So let's see. Maybe not. Well, I guess there is no sound for some reason, but that's an issue on the iPad's part. If I had the phone that I was recording on with the app, I would be able to show you how it works. But it would play notes, as you can kind of see. If I were to turn it, you can see a key pressed down. That's kind of showing how the notes would be played. There's also drums, and then there's also piano, and then a synthesizer, which is really cool. And then next up in the games is Paint It, which is where you create cool designs with the cube. So with Puzzle, you get 9 cubes, and you have that time limit to make that pattern, and it increasingly gets harder as you go. Oh, I accidentally started it. So you will start by just doing that pattern, but then you'll end up having to do a heart or a Space Invader. So then, last up in the games that we currently have is Simon Says. I have actually never played this game, but I'm assuming it's basically like a Simon Says puzzle. Oh, sorry, geez, this is really hard to record on the floor. And I'm not really going... I guess I could go into it. So, oh, you want to hold it with the red facing you. I've actually never done this before. U-R-D. U-R-D. Okay. U-R-D-L. Okay. So we got U-R-D-L. Okay. So then you got 5 things to remember. So it's U-R-D-L. And then another L. U-R-D-L-L. And so on. So it's kind of like remembering what you do. So there's that cube, basically. It's obviously going to be a bit more complicated the more levels you unlock. And well, here's the settings. So you've got your account. You've got whether or not you want the light to show on constantly. So if I put this right here, now it's on. Now it's off. You've also got 3D tracking, which is basically like how you see rotations. Now, if you ever come across a glitch, which I have come across maybe once or twice, let me just solve the cube really quick, where the cube on screen does not match the cube in your hand, you can actually load up the state. Oh wait, that was not the right algorithm. You can actually load up the state on the cube and it will adjust accordingly. So if, for example, my cube was completely scrambled, however it showed it was solved, I would load the cube state and you would put each of the colors on each of the faces, and that way the cube on the screen and the cube in real life would match up. However, if, for example, the cube on screen is scrambled and your cube is solved, like so, you would just click Load Solved State, and it would instantly turn this cube into whatever the state would be, which would be solved. So there's that. There we go. Then there's also just some info. You've got, obviously, your cube, and you've got a bunch of the legal stuff that no one really reads unless they need to. But then, let's see. You've also got this up here, which is your battery life of your cube. So once you charge it, once you get it out of the box, it should have 50%, or you'll need to charge it. And if your cube ever, for example, if you have orange facing you and it somehow shows green facing you, you just click this button up here and it will set the cube orientation. So you put the cube like this, and you click sync, and now it will on the screen have everything set up. So the last thing is the school. So this is the academy, and it basically teaches you how to solve the cube from start to finish. It does use a sort of beginner's method, but as you learn, it does get more and more advanced, and you will begin to learn other types of moves and algorithms. Please stop messaging. So that is basically the overview of the app and the cube. I personally give both of these a really good rating. I would honestly say 5 stars as of now, even though not everything is out, because compared to my last cube that was a Bluetooth, this is a huge improvement, and I really see this helping a lot of people and getting open to a wider market of people that are not just in cubing to get faster. Maybe they just want to get started and learn the basics, and this is a really good cube to do that. Also, if you live in an area where cubers aren't too common, or you don't have people to talk to about your stuff, you can always go to, or people to solve with, sorry, you can always go to the competing section and, the matches section, and compete against actual other cubers. So I think that's a really big plus compared to other Bluetooth cubes out there. And I also think that the design is innovative, because it's not shaped like a normal Rubik's Cube. It does have rounded corners, it does have a smoother feel, and overall it just feels a lot nicer and higher quality. So that's my review and overview of the GoCube Edge. I do recommend getting the Edge if you know how to solve the cube and would like to get better. as well as even if you don't know how to solve the cube and you want to compete with others. However, if it's out of your price range, because I realize it is a $30 difference, then the GoCube the GoCube Normal is still a really good investment, and I think that anyone who's interested in cubing or just knowing how to solve a Rubik's Cube should indeed buy this. And yeah, that's really my review. So thank you so much for watching. I realize this is a long video and I really do not want to have to edit this, so I'm just going to post this basically at one go. Like I'm just going to go straight to YouTube after this. So thank you so much. This is the Magic Cuber, and I will see you in another video. Thank you.